Hello there, you guys. Welcome to another one of my lessons today. I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more current latest news. So basically, Manchester City have just destroyed Chelsea at the Etihad Stadium by 6 goals to 0 now. So currently, Manchester City currently go back top on currently goal difference now. This season, they have scored 74 goals, is it? Only conceded 20 in the process. But City today, are rampant, from the start. They're absolutely supreme, with Manchester City today, as I currently said. When you've got the quality of Aguero in there, they've got the quality of Aguero in their team, Raheem Sterling in their team. Aguero, of course, scoring a hat-trick today for Manchester City as well. And he did it last week against Arsenal as well, did Sergio Aguero. He scored a hat-trick last week as well. Obviously, they did beat Everton midweek as well, did Manchester City. So since that Newcastle defeat, Manchester City, of course, have won 3 on the trot. Also, to Raheem Sterling scored twice today for Man City. Aguero got an hat-trick, and I think, was it Ilkay Gundogan who scored the other goal as well for Manchester City. But City were totally dominant. But currently in the first half, they had 5 shots, and, 4 of them, shots currently went in to the back of the net, as I currently said. But yeah, it was a really, really good performance, for Manchester City. Aguero scoring a hat-trick, Raheem Sterling got 2, and it was Ilkay Gundogan, as I currently said. So now the question is, will the pressure now mount even more on Sarri as, position at Chelsea, as I currently said? But it was a great performance, for Manchester City from start to finish. They were just totally dominant, as I currently said. But as I did say, it's definitely going to be between City and Liverpool, for the league this season. Tottenham are in there with a shout. Tottenham did beat Leicester at home today by 3 goals to 1. So Tottenham are still in there with a shout. To be quite honest with you, I do favour Manchester City, to win it this season, because how many games have played? City have played 27 now, haven't they? They've won 21, drawn 2, lost 4, and they have scored 74 goals this season. And Aguero got a fantastic hat-trick today. Got a hat-trick last week against Arsenal as well. So I said City's home record, is absolutely fantastic indeed, as I currently said. It's very, very rare they lose at home, because this season they've beaten us there, they've beaten Liverpool there, they've beaten Arsenal there, now they've beaten Chelsea there. So it's really, really hard, to go to Manchester City and currently win. But, City have spent a lot of money. Guardiola's spent, what, £500 million in that Manchester City team, but he's a good manager. He knows what he's doing, as I currently said. He's won about 26 trophies, in his managerial career. As Guardiola, he won a lot of trophies as a player as well, did Pep Guardiola. And obviously, City and Chelsea have obviously, got to play in the Carabao Cup final, very, very soon. As I said, they've got to play in the Carabao Cup final soon. I think from Liverpool's perspective, even though they did win 3-0 yesterday, Liverpool, they did get back to winning ways against Bournemouth. I actually think Liverpool's next league match is us, Manchester United. I think that's Liverpool's next league match. So that's going to be a very, very tough game for Liverpool. But I think it's, between City and Liverpool, for the league this season, as I currently said. But City, were just absolutely rampant today. They bossed the game from start to finish. They were 4-0 up in the first 25 minutes, with Manchester City, as I currently said. So they are the dominant force now, Manchester City. Obviously, they won the league last season. Basically, from their perspective, the quadruple's on. I don't see Manchester City, doing the quadruple, to be quite honest with you. I don't see Manchester City doing the quadruple, to be quite honest with you, but I think they are going to win the League Cup, to be quite honest with you. They could probably win the Premier League as well, could Manchester City. But as I did say, in terms of experience, between City and Liverpool, obviously Manchester City have got more of the experience. They've got more of the experience, of winning the Premier League, because they have currently won it 3 times. Of course, Liverpool have obviously, never ever won the Premier League, in 28 years. They haven't won it, all in all, Liverpool. And Klopp's got a bit of experience. He won a couple of titles at Borussia Dortmund, as I said, but between Guardiola and, Jurgen Klopp, Guardiola is on another level. Pep Guardiola's got that winning project, Jurgen Klopp, hasn't got that winning pedigree or that winning project, like, Pep Guardiola has. So you've obviously probably got to favour Manchester City now, to be quite honest with you, because they're playing really, really well, scoring goals. They've got a lot of good players in their team, and you wouldn't have expected Manchester City, to win by 6 goals to 0 today against Chelsea. I thought they'd have won, but you wouldn't have expected 6-0, no way you'd have expected 6-0, but they've scored a lot of goals this season. They've beaten Chelsea 6-0. beat Chelsea 6-0 today, you know, beat Burton 9-0 in the semi-final of Carabao Cup as well, beat Arsenal 3-1 last week, so they are very, very good at home, Manchester City. But since that Newcastle defeat, you know, they've won 3 on the trot of Manchester City, as I currently said. So what is that, 10 in 3 games now for Manchester City, you know, 6 today, 2 against Everton midweek, and 3 against Arsenal as well. Sorry, 11 goals, I think. No, 11 goals in 3 games for Manchester City, as I currently said. But yeah, you know, I wonder how Chelsea fans, you know, currently react to this, as I said. But it's good news from a Manchester United, you know, point of view in a way, because obviously if Chelsea had got victory today, you know, Chelsea would have gone back into the top 4. But now Chelsea losing 6-0 today, they have dropped to 6th. So they have dropped below Arsenal now of Chelsea, because before the start of the game, Chelsea were actually above Arsenal on goal difference, but now they've lost 6-0 today. Chelsea have gone below Arsenal, so they are sitting 6th now, are Chelsea. As I said, but it's good from our point of view. You know, we're still in the top 4, you know, Manchester United, you know, which is very, very good news. And we're in fantastic form, you know, under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as well. And when Manchester United and Manchester City do meet, you know, it's going to be a very, very interesting game, because we're playing well under Solskjaer. You know, Manchester City playing really, really well, but they've got a world-class team. They've got Sterling in that team, who's good. They've got Aguero in that team. They've got Kevin De Bruyne in that team, who's one of the best players in the Premier League. You know, they've got Silva as well. You know, City have got, you know, an absolutely outstanding team, but, you know, there's a lot of money, you know, that's being invested on it. But City and Chelsea do play in the cup final, as I currently said, coming up soon. Obviously, they won it last season, did Manchester City against Arsenal in the final. They won the Carabao Cup, did Manchester City last season against Arsenal, as I said. And obviously, Sarri has not yet won an honour as manager, so he hasn't won any silverware as a manager. All right. He hasn't won. He hasn't won any honours as Sarri as a manager, as I said. But will the pressure now mount more on Sarri, as I currently said? Because Chelsea, it wasn't only too long ago that they suffered a 4-0 defeat to Bournemouth away as well, Chelsea. But Chelsea have got a lot of problems of their own. Obviously, they're going for the top 4 this season. You know, as the press were reporting, Roman Abramovich, who obviously is the Chelsea owner, demanded out if Chelsea do fail for top 4 this season. If they do fail for top 4 this season and they don't get into the Champions League, obviously, for next season, so if they don't get Champions League qualification for next season, Sarri could be sacked. And it's only Sarri's first season with Chelsea, and I think in a way he's transforming Chelsea into like an Arsenal. Is Sarri, as I said, but it is only his first season with Chelsea. You know, Chelsea got Gonzalo Higuain in January on loan. They do have the option, you know, to extend the loan by a further 12 months if he meets key targets, but Chelsea would have to pay around 15-16 million, of course, you know, to develop the loan into a further 12 months. They do have the option to make the deal permanent in the summer by paying around 36 million pounds. You know, they've got Pulisic, but he's going to be officially playing for Chelsea next season because he's being loaned back to Borussia Dortmund as well. But Chelsea, you know, obviously could see players, you know, leaving this summer as well. Obviously, from their point of view, they didn't get a replacement for Fabregas in the January transfer window that they wanted to get, so they didn't get a replacement for Fabregas, so they'll be focusing on getting a replacement for Fabregas in the summer. Will Chelsea, they could see Cahill leave at the end of the season because there was strong speculation of him leaving in January. They could see David Luiz's contract is up in the summer as well, so he could leave. Callum Hudson-Odoi, again, you know, not playing, hasn't even played a game from the start, I don't think, in the Premier League, you know, for Chelsea, Callum Hudson-Odoi. And we know that Bayern Munich, of course, have been strongly linked to him. Well, they were linked to him during, you know, the January transfer window, as we all currently know. You know, Bayern Munich were linked to him. Bayern Munich were willing to offer him the number 10 shirt. As I currently said, Bayern Munich were willing to offer him the number 10 shirt. And obviously, Bayern Munich, I think, had put around 3 or 4 bids in. Chelsea turned three of those bids down, I think. But I think Bayern Munich are going to, you know, revive their interest in the summer and try and get him away from Chelsea. And obviously, he handed in a transfer requested Callum Hudson-Odoi. Chelsea tried to convince him to sign a new contract, but he blatantly refused it. But obviously, Chelsea refused to let Callum Hudson-Odoi leave in January. This is why he didn't make the move to Bayern Munich. In relation to Eden Hazard, again, I think it's been coming out in the last week or I have been hearing, you know, it has been revealed that he has made a decision on his future, Eden Hazard. It did say basically last summer that he has made a decision. It said last summer that he wanted to leave Chelsea last summer, you know, after the World Cup and all that. Eden Hazard wanted to leave. We know he's been strongly linked to a move to Real Madrid. Chelsea demanding that the price tag is around £100 million anyway, so it will cost Real Madrid £100 million. But Eden Hazard will leave in the summer, you know, to be quite honest with you, because he did say he's made a decision, and I do think he expects to tell Chelsea he wants to leave and go to Real Madrid in the summer. As I said, Cesc Fabregas, from his point of view, still believes that Eden Hazard will sign a new contract with Chelsea. This is what he currently believes, worth around, what, £300,000 a week. But Chelsea know how much of an essential player he is, because obviously he's Chelsea's best player, is Eden Hazard, because he's grown, developed, and he's flourished in the Premier League. You know, he's been in the Premier League, you know, since 2012, as Eden Hazard, as we all currently know. He's made over 300 appearances, scored over 100 odd goals, you know, can play as attacking mid, can play on the left as well. But his current deal does end in 2020, does Eden Hazard as well. But Chelsea are in a bad position at the moment. They've dropped to 6th. They are level on points with Arsenal. Chelsea and Arsenal obviously 1 point behind us, as I couldn't say. But for as I said, didn't I? You know, I'd rather Manchester City win, so we do stay in the top 4. Manchester City did win, you know, absolutely comfortably. And, you know, Sarri, you know, the pressure's going to grow on him now, as I currently said, Sarri, because I think he's transforming Chelsea into like an Arsenal or something like that. And we know basically Chelsea are known for sacking managers, as I said, because the stats a lot in a short period of time, as I've already explained to you. But Chelsea have got a lot of problems. I think they need a fullback, Chelsea. They'll need a defender if Gary Cahill and David Luiz leave in the summer. Obviously, they need a backup for Jorginho. They need a replacement for Cesc Fabregas as well. Eden Hazard could leave in the summer, as I just explained. Callum Hudson-Odoi could be leaving in the summer, as I said. So Chelsea, you know, I've got a lot of problems, as I currently said. But I thought, you know, Man City were going to definitely win it today, but I didn't expect, you know, 6-0. Nobody even expected 6-0. But, you know, this City team is on another level, as I said. The world class of Manchester City, absolutely world class. And Guardiola's a good manager because he's emulating the football he did at Barcelona and Bayern Munich, and he's been in to Manchester City. So as the table stands now, City go back top. They're level on points, but they go back top on goal diff. And City have scored 74 goals in the Premier League this season. In 2 weeks, you know, Aguero has scored a hat-trick. So he got a hat-trick last week against Arsenal. He's got a hat-trick this week against Chelsea as well. Raheem Sterling also scored 2 goals as well. You know, Gundogan scored the other goal for Manchester City. You know, but City surprisingly only had 5 shots in the first half, but 4 of them were goals. And Manchester City 4-0 up in the first 20 minutes of that game. So potentially it could have been more than 6-0. It could have been 7-8-0 today to Manchester City, because they were absolutely outstanding today with Manchester City, you know, as Jamie Carragher was saying. So it's good news from my point of view, because I'm a Manchester United fan, as you all know, and obviously it's good for us because obviously we still remain in the top 4 now, as I said, and I do it in my opinion. I think Liverpool could crumble, as I currently said. They've got Bayern Munich coming up in the Champions League. You know, they've got us coming up. I think that's actually their next league match. I think they play us at Old Trafford, and obviously we are capable of beating Liverpool. You know, because you know the way, you know, we're thriving under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because we are playing very, very well under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, as he has said. But I think, in my opinion, you know, Sarri could be under serious pressure now. Chelsea obviously suffered their heaviest defeat in the league to Bournemouth, you know, for 23 years. Now, you know, they've suffered a 6-0 defeat to Manchester City. You know, I think the pressure will grow on Sarri, in my opinion. But as I did say, Chelsea are known for sacking managers. Obviously, from a Chelsea point of view, they want to get in the top 4 and want to get back into the Champions League for next season. Or you know, Chelsea will be hopefully, you know, probably winning the Europa League to get automatic Champions League qualification. Obviously, from an Arsenal point of view, you know, they obviously as well, you know, want to get in Champions League football for next season, or progress in the Europa League, you know, to invest more money into their club, because obviously Arsenal have got an owner that's, you know, taking money out of the club instead of investing money into their team. But Arsenal obviously were only restricted to loan signings, you know, of course, you know, throughout the January transfer window, they were only restricted to loan signings, and Arsenal, you know, could lose some of that maybe in the summer, because they've got players, you know, coming to the end of the contracts of Arsenal. You know, Steven Lichtsteiner, however you pronounce his name, Petr Cech's retiring at the end of the season. The Arsenal have obviously got Denis Suarez on loan. They paid $2 million obviously for the loan fee, with option to buy in the summer for Denis Suarez. But depends if Arsenal, you know, want to make the deal permanent. You know, Welbeck's going to be set to leave in Arsenal as well. You know, they've got Monreal coming to an end of his contract, Carl Jenkinson coming to an end of his contract. As I said, so they have got quite a few players coming to the end of the contracts. And as reports were coming out the other day in the media, that reports were saying that Arsenal reportedly only going to get around £45 million to spend in the summer. Because don't forget, Arsenal have got players on big contracts, as we all know as well. As we all know as well, they've got Ozil on 350 grand a week. Ozil on 350 grand a week. You know, Aubameyang's on 200 grand a week. You've got Mkhitaryan on 160 grand a week, and you've got what's the other one, Lacazette, on £140,000 a week. So I think Arsenal Arsenal maybe are trying to force Ozil out of the club in the summer. So I think Umremme is actually withdrawing from the squad, so he can, get rid of Ozil in the summer, because Ozil, has enjoyed a difficult season this season under Umremme. He's hardly played in the team, he's missed a lot of games, he's had a couple of injuries, as well as Mesut Ozil. So I do think, he could actually leave in the summer. Obviously, Aaron Ramsey's obviously going to Juventus in the summer on a free transfer. I think he's going to get around £300,000 a week at Juventus, so he's going to be potentially the second highest paid player at Juventus as well. Arsenal did win 2-1 away at Huddersfield yesterday, but obviously Arsenal have obviously got problems of their own, as well as Chelsea have got problems as well. Arsenal need a couple of more signings. I think they need a defender to Arsenal. They definitely need a defender their Arsenal as well, and if these players do go in the summer, they'll obviously have to find adequate replacements for them, Arsenal as well. But Chelsea, from their point of view, need a replacement for Fabregas. If Eden Hazard leaves, they're going to need a replacement for him as well. They'll probably need a defender if Cahill leaves and David Luiz doesn't sign a new contract. I think they need a fullback as well, the Chelsea. You can see where Chelsea's problems are lying, and I think Eden Hazard probably will go in the summer, to be quite honest, because he did say before that he loved Real Madrid. So basically now, with Chelsea suffering this defeat, they have gone below Arsenal, as that is confirmed. So now Arsenal are sitting 5th, Chelsea are sitting in 6th position. They're both level on points, but Arsenal have gone above them, and now obviously they're both 1 point behind us in 4th, as I currently said. As I did give you an update, my Manchester United PSG preview will be coming up maybe later on today, or will be tomorrow. As I said, to give you a bit of an update on that, it's the Champions League. It's Tuesday night, 8 o'clock kickoff, as I do want to give you an update on. But we've heard some good news in relation to that game, going into that game, that reportedly Edison Cavani is a major doubt, as I've already updated you on. Edison Cavani is a major doubt after suffering a thigh injury. I think it's a suspected thigh injury. This was during PSG's 1-0 win over Bordeaux. Edison Cavani had suffered a thigh injury, and Thomas Tuchel, the current PSG manager, is actually worried that he could miss the class, but it's looking very, very likely he's going to miss the game on Tuesday, which is good news for us, as I currently said. Also to Thomas Meunier as well. He suffered a head injury in the game as well. I think he collided a head with somebody else, did Thomas Meunier. So he suffered a head injury as well. So he could be out. Obviously, we know that Neymar is out as well for PSG. He's out for like a long period of time. I think he's got a foot injury as Neymar, as I said. So that's a boost, for us going into the PSG game, as I currently said. But I'm confident, that we can win the game, because we're in great form under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at the moment. As I said, we've won 10 out of 11 under Solskjaer, so 11 games undefeated. This is going to be his 12th game. He's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, on Tuesday against PSG. So we've won 10 out of 11. We've won 5. We've won 6, away from home in all competitions. We've won 8 games in Premier League. As I said, I think we scored 28 goals as well. We've got 25 points so far from a possible 27 in the Premier League as well, which is really, really good. As I said. We've got 25 points from a possible 27, as I said. And Solskjaer, for me, understands the philosophy. He knows his lineups. He's tactically right. And I think he's got a really, really good game plan as Solskjaer. And I think he shows that inspiration. He doesn't rest on his laurels. And if he sees a problem, he addresses that problem. There's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But the structure of the team's right. The cohesion of the team's right. And you can see that, players are willing to play from the back. We have got good ball-playing midfielders now in Herrera, Matic and Pogba. And I do think Pogba is getting the freedom to express himself. As I said, he's scoring goals. He's providing his Paul Pogba. And Paul Pogba, is absolutely playing fantastic, for Manchester United. I think he operates himself very, very well in that number 10 position, to be quite honest with you, does Paul Pogba. But Paul Pogba is playing absolutely brilliant, for Manchester United, as I said. I think he scored 11 goals in the Premier League this season. I think he scored 13 in all competitions, as I said. But he's been in absolutely scintillating form as Paul Pogba, as I currently said. So he's playing really, really well. Right now. He's playing really, really well. And I do think the front men, getting the freedom, to interchange more. We're getting fullbacks high up the pitch. We're creating more chances. You can see we're scoring more goals. And I think he's brought the belief back to the team. He's brought the fear factor back to the team. And I think this squad, has everything, to re-emerge into a dominant force and get us back, there. I think this squad is capable of re-emerging. This squad has everything, to re-emerge. Of us getting, winning trophies on a regular basis, just like we did under Alex Ferguson for 26, 27 years of success we had under him. And we are all aware that we still need a couple of signings in the summer, because as I do keep saying, players are going to go. Some experienced players are going to leave Manchester United. As I said, reportedly we're going to get around the £200 million spending spree to spend in the summer. Solskjaer is obviously going to have a big say on this as well. He did admit, though, Solskjaer in the media, it could maybe still take us, a couple of. He said it could take us a couple of years. Did Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, to basically catch up with the likes of Manchester City to get on the same level as Manchester City, and it could take us a couple of years, for us to be potentially, title contenders, as he currently was suggesting out, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But he's brought everything back to the club. He likes the attacking football. He likes the width. He's brought the attacking flair. The spirit levels are high in the team as well, and the team are playing together as a team, and it's really, really good to see. As I said, he was talking about rotating, which he has been doing. He's been rotating the squad, giving the young players the chance as well. And against Fulham, obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had made 6 changes in the game, so he'd rotating the squad. He made alterations in that back line as well, because we saw Smalling, Jones, and Diego Dalot coming in. And I've been impressed with Dalot, however you pronounce his name. I've been impressed with him, when he's been playing. I think he's distinctive in his play. I think he's getting forward very, very well. I think his attacking players, he's looking very, very impressive indeed. He's Diego Dalot as well. So I have been impressed with him, when he has been playing as well. But obviously, for Tuesday, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is probably going to go with the strongest 11. As I've already updated you, I know the strongest 11 is De Gea, Young, Little Lindelof, Bay as a centre-back partnership, because I think they complement each other very, very well. And obviously, they're on another level to Phil Jones and Chris Smalling, Victor Lindelof and Eric Bay. It was good to see Smalling play against Fulham, playing his first game, under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Chris Smalling, after recently recovering from an injury, because Smalling had a foot injury, as we all know. But Lindelof, complement each other very, very well. And I think Lindelof's, dramatically improved this season, as I said. But the best 11 is De Gea, Young, Lindelof, Bay, Luke Shaw, very, very good left back as well. Herrera, Matic and Pogba in that midfield, that looks a very, very effective midfield. Herrera, Matic and Pogba, Martial on the left, Lingard on the right, and Rashford up front. And that is potentially our best 11, as I currently said. But he has rejuvenated he's rejuvenated the team, as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He's brought the confidence back in the team. He's motivated the team. As I currently said, I think Pogba's pulling the strings off well in the midfield. Martial's looking very, very influential on that left-hand side as well. And I think Rashford, looks very, very effective, when he's playing centrally, Marcus Rashford. And it will be good for him to play on Tuesday night, Marcus Rashford, because he's been in absolutely fantastic form. And Rashford, I think Rashford's, everything is improved about him. And I think he's always been a good player, but especially since Solskjaer's coming, he's playing more of a key role. He's scoring more goals. His finishing's improved as well as Marcus Rashford. So I have been very, very impressed with him indeed as well. But, City winning this game today, by 6-0 against Chelsea is good news for us, because obviously we still sit in the top 4. We haven't been in the top 4, since the opening day of the season, as we all currently know. And obviously when Solskjaer came in, we was actually sitting 11 points, behind top 4. So obviously a lot of people ruled us out, as I currently said. But as I did say, from a Chelsea point of view, will the big Chelsea fans now, calling for Sarri to be sacked from Chelsea? It is only his first season. He only joined last summer. Did Sarri? Did he sign a 3-year deal with Chelsea? As I currently said, but City won by 6-0 today. You wouldn't have thought it'd have happened. You wouldn't have thought that would have happened. I thought Manchester City were going to win, but I didn't think they'd have won by such a high deficit in that game. And City just absolutely tore them to shreds. Every single part of the pitch. They won every ball. They created a lot of chances in the game. It could have actually been more than 6-0 today in that game, as I currently said. But I think it's definitely, as I did say, between City, Liverpool and Tottenham for the league this season. Tottenham are definitely, still in there with a shout, without a shadow of a doubt. Tottenham, playing really, really well, to be quite honest with you. Tottenham are playing really well. They've got good players in their team. I think Pochettino's a very, very good manager, as I do keep saying. He is a good manager. He's Mauricio Pochettino, don't get me wrong, he is a good manager. But
I don't want him at Manchester United. I want Solskjaer to get the job on a full-time basis, as I said, because Pochettino's everyone out in terms of silverware, so he hasn't proven himself in terms of silverware, but he is a good manager because he's got a good record with Tottenham. He had a good record at Southampton, and obviously, if any team want to hire him in at the end of the season, I think Chelsea have maybe been interested in hiring Pochettino, and if Sarri, does get sacked at the end of the season, it's going to cost you around 35-40 million because obviously he signed a 5-year deal with Tottenham last summer, did Mauricio Pochettino, as we all currently know as well. And Chelsea have obviously, got us coming up soon as well in the FA Cup, and that's going to be another difficult game for Chelsea as well. Don't forget. So basically, Chelsea have got problems of their own. So now they dropped 6. The 6 below Arsenal. Them and Arsenal are level on points. Arsenal and Chelsea are obviously a point behind us behind 4th, as we all currently know. But Chelsea were just absolutely ripped to shreds today, as I currently said. So yeah, and I've been reading a bit more news. I do want to give you an update on as well in relation to some more news. I want to give you a bit of an update on some news. I'm going to update you on now. Reports been coming out. Obviously, we're looking to basically get some new additions into the team in summer, because obviously Manchester United have spent a lot of money, but we didn't spend out in the January transfer window, so we can invest in the summer, as we all know. And we've looked at a few key targets who we may be interested in getting into the team. Obviously, we're still looking to hire a director of football, to come into the club as well. But reports have been coming out earlier on today in relation to Ryan Sessegnon. Now, he's been mentioned in the press. I think, was it a couple of years ago that actually Manchester United were actually linked with Ryan Sessegnon. He's a Fulham player, as we all know, is Ryan Sessegnon. He's very, very young in his prime. He's 18 years of age. Is Ryan Sessegnon. Obviously, won the Championship Player of the Year. Basically, that was Ryan Sessegnon's award, as we all know. Obviously, he's been at Fulham all his career. Obviously, he spent 8 years in their youth system. Did Ryan Sessegnon. Obviously, being in the senior squad, with Fulham, since 2016. Obviously, was one of their key players, last season. Why Fulham got promotion to the Premier League, as I said. But Fulham are struggling this season. They've got one of the worst defensive records in the Premier League, as I said, of Fulham. So Fulham are playing really, really bad this season, as I said. In relation to Ryan Sessegnon, though, it did say Tottenham have obviously been interested in him before, but it did say Manchester United may be willing to make a move for Ryan Sessegnon in the summer, because reportedly Fulham have been in contract talks with trying to get him a new long-term deal at Fulham, but reportedly the contract talks have currently stalled, reportedly. So Ryan Sessegnon may be keen on making the move, and it would probably cost Man United around £50 million, to get Ryan Sessegnon in. He's 18 years of age, as I said, Ryan Sessegnon, but he's actually a very, very good player, and he's versatile as well. He can play anywhere on the left-hand side, because he can play as a left-back, he can play as a left winger, as well as can Ryan Sessegnon. But reports coming out saying that Man United may be prepared to pay £50 million for him in the summer, because there's current stalls. Fulham have been in contract talks, but the contract talks have reportedly stalled in relation to Ryan Sessegnon. So reportedly Man United may go for him in the summer, reportedly as well. He's got currently 18 months left on his current deal, Ryan Sessegnon. But since Claudio Ranieri has reportedly, obviously gone in as manager, as Ryan Sessegnon, as I said. So I've been hearing reports about that today in the media as well. Dad. I have been hearing reports about that today as well. Other targets, we've showed an interest in with potentially, where we have been in talks with them as well. We know that Tanguy Ndombele got mentioned in the media the other day as well. As I said, 22 years of age. Reportedly, Man United have approached his representatives, because Man United may consider making a move for him in the summer as well. It did actually say Manchester City were interested in this Tanguy Ndombele. It's also said that Juventus have also been interested in this Tanguy Ndombele as well. He's French, as I said. He made his full international debut, last year for France. This player is competitive, he's tenacious, he's a very, very good player, as I said. But reportedly, Man United have made some kind of contact, regarding the player. As I said, to Man United may make a move for him in the summer. Obviously, he's at Lyon now. His performances for Lyon have been good. Lyon obviously got him on a 1-year loan for £2 million. Then obviously Lyon made the deal permanent by paying around £8 million. by paying around £8 million for him permanently, as I said. But there has been reports about that going on. In relation to Douglas Costa, there has been reports going on about Douglas Costa as well that I currently have been hearing about as well in relation to the Douglas Costa. Reports were coming out saying that he liked a Twitter post linking him with a move to Old Trafford. I don't think Man United will make a move for him this summer. It did allegedly say that Man United are linked with a summer move, for Douglas Costa, but we heard the narrative about this last year, as we all currently know. We heard about it last year, that reportedly Manchester United had a £54 million bid turned down for Douglas Costa, but he's enjoyed a difficult season with Juventus, because obviously since Cristiano Ronaldo's obviously been at Juventus, Douglas Costa, to be potentially fair, has found game time very, very difficult indeed, as we all currently know. Douglas Costa's dribbling's good. He can put crosses into the box as well, can Douglas Costa, and he can score goals and he can provide. He's versatile as well, he's Douglas Costa, as I said, but he's a very, very good player, he's Douglas Costa. Throughout his playing career, he's been a really, really good player, as Douglas Costa, as I currently said. He was very, very good when he was at Shakhtar Donetsk. He had 5 good years there. He had a good couple of years, with Bayern Munich as well. Juventus only got him permanently last summer for 36 million, because obviously Juventus had him for 1 season, I think, on loan as well. But he is a pretty decent player. Is Douglas Costa, as I currently said, but there has been talks about that going on in the media, as I currently said. But there's obviously other targets, where we've been interested as well. Obviously, the major one for the summer is Napoli's Koulibaly. As I've already give you an update on, he's the number one for the summer. As I currently said, is Koulibaly. And he'd be a great leader in our backline with Koulibaly, as we all currently know. On the contract with Napoli till 2023. Napoli paid, £7 million for him from Genk. Obviously, in the process, we've been linked to him in the past couple of windows. Man United were in negotiations in January, but as Napoli confirmed, willing to sell him in the January transfer window, as we all know. And we had 3 bids turned down. The recent one was obviously £95 million, but I think he's eager to join Manchester United in the summer. Is Koulibaly, as we all currently know. He's eager to join Manchester United in the summer. Is Koulibaly, but very, very good player. He'd be a good leader in our back line, as we all currently know. And I think he's unhappy at Napoli. The majority of this was due to the racial abuse he suffered, in December last year as well. And he's been at Napoli, a number of years now. He is 27, so he is an experienced, centre back. He's Koulibaly. He'd fit our back line, fantastically well with Koulibaly, as I said. He'd be fantastic in our back line, with Koulibaly, as I currently said. He'd be absolutely phenomenal. He would be absolutely a phenomenal Koulibaly, if he was to come in. And we know we've been linked to other players such as Milan Skriniar and, Tottenham's Toby Alderweireld. Harry Maguire's name's been mentioned as well. So we have been linked, with quite a few targets, as I said. But obviously the Man United board are obviously preparing, to, try and get some signings in the summer. As I currently said, and obviously we've still got to sort contract renewals out as well, as I've already give you an update on earlier on in relation to De Gea and all that, and Young and Herrera and Mata and all that, and Rashford. They're players that still basically need to sign new deals, as I currently said. And in relation to Herrera, I hope he does, to be quite fair, because Herrera complements our midfield well. I think he's really, really improved under Herrera since Solskjaer's coming, especially. I think Herrera's played a big part in the team. Herrera's playing really, really well. He's pulling the strings off in the midfield, and he's been here a good 4.5, 5 years now, as under Herrera at Manchester United, as I currently said. But the Man United PSG preview, will be coming up. As I currently said, it will be coming up very, very soon. It may be later on today, or it will be tomorrow. The Manchester United PSG preview will be coming up, as I said. But yeah, City beat Chelsea by 6 goals to 0. City destroyed Chelsea, so City go back top of the Premier League on goal difference. They've scored 74 goals this season in the Premier League. Liverpool's next league game, they've got to go to Old Trafford, as I currently said. So it's definitely between Liverpool and City. From a Liverpool point of view, obviously they want to win it, because obviously, again, if Liverpool don't win the league this season, the pressure could mount on Jurgen Klopp, and he actually could get sacked, believe it or not. Jurgen Klopp, if Liverpool do not win the league this season. They haven't won a major honour, for 13 years, because the last time they won a major honour was back in 2006, when they actually won the FA Cup, as I currently said. So the pressure will mount, on Jurgen Klopp, if Liverpool do not win the Premier League this season. Obviously, they're not in the FA Cup, they're not in the League Cup, obviously, but they are still in the Champions League, Liverpool, as I couldn't have said. But that's a good result, from me as a Manchester United fan, City beating Chelsea 6-0. I hate Man City, don't get me wrong, but in terms of, the top four, it's a good result for us, from Manchester United point of view today, because obviously if Chelsea had won, they'd have gone above us, they'd have gone back into the top four, as I said. But it's a good result for us today. Now Chelsea have even dropped below Arsenal, so Chelsea are sitting below Arsenal, level on points, as I currently said. We're sitting 1 point ahead of Chelsea and Arsenal, as we all currently know. And City and Liverpool are on the same points, but obviously City now are above them on goal difference, as I currently said. And Tottenham, beat Leicester, as I said, in the early kick-off today by 3-1. As we all currently know, and they're doing well to say. They've got Kane and Dele Alli out as well at Tottenham. So anyway, drop your comments, likes below on the channel, guys. If you do consider subscribers.